doble crimen de Almonte. Almonte crime refers to doble homicide that shocked the small town of Almonte located in Huelva, Spain in 2013. It involved the brutal murders of 40-year-old Miguel Ángel Domínguez and his 8-year-old daughter, Maria, in their own home. The case became notorious for its gruesome details. Here's an account of the case and its aftermath. The crime on April 27, 2013, Miguel Ángel and Maria were discovered brutally murdered in their home. Miguel Ángel had suffered 31 stab wounds, while his daughter Maria had endured 104. The level of violence suggested an intense emotional motive or premeditation. What made the crime even more harrowing was that it appeared to have occurred without any witnesses or signs of forced entry, suggesting that the perpetrator was either known to the victims or had managed to enter without resistance. The police found no clear indications of robbery or burglary, which eliminated monetary gain as a potential motive instead. The personal nature of the attack pointed to a crime of passion or vengeance. The town of Almonte was left in shock and fear as no one could initially imagine who might commit such a heinous act in a close-knit community. The investigation into the crime began immediately. The authorities focused on those close to the victims, including Miguel Angel's former partner Mariana, who was also Maria's mother. Her new partner, Francisco Javier Medina, quickly became the primary suspect. Duetto's circumstantial evidence. Key pieces of evidence included Medina's proximity to the victims and alleged jealousy over Miguel Angel's continued presence in Marianella's life. Additionally, ADN sample found at the crime scene matched Medina's. Although questions were later raised about how conclusive this evidence was, Medina denied any involvement in the murders and maintained his innocence throughout the investigation and trial. The trial and acquittal. The trial began in 2017, and Medina faced charges of double homicide. The prosecution relied heavily on the DNA evidence and circumstantial factors to argue that it had the motive and opportunity to commit the crime. The defense, however, raised significant doubts about the reliability of the DNA evidence, pointing out that it was not found on the victims themselves, but on a piece of clothing at the scene. They also argued that the investigation had focused too narrowly on Medina, potentially overlooking other suspects. In June 2017, a jury found Medina not guilty of the murders. The acquittal was based on the principle of reasonable doubt, as the evidence presented did not conclusively prove his guilt. The decision was controversial, with some in the community and the victims' families believing that Medina had escaped justice. Others, however, criticized the police and judicial system for conducting a flawed investigation that failed to provide clear answers. The aftermath. The acquittal left many unanswered questions about what truly happened on that fateful night in Almonte for the victims' families. The lack of closure was devastating. Miguel Angel's relatives, in particular, continued to demand justice, believing that the true perpetrator had yet to be held accountable. The case also sparked broader debates in Spain about the reliability of forensic evidence and the handling of high-profile criminal investigations. Critics argued that the Almonte case highlighted systemic issues within the judicial and law enforcement systems. This includes the potential for tunnel vision during investigations and the misuse of DNA evidence without corroborating factors. Despite the acquittal, public opinion remained divided. Some believed Medina was innocent and had been unfairly targeted due to circumstantial evidence, while others remained convinced of his guilt. The case has become a symbol of unresolved justice and continues to be referenced in discussions about legal reform and the challenges of solving complex criminal cases. Legacy. The Almonte crime remains unsolved, and its impact on the community endures. For the families of Miguel Ángel and Maria, the pain of losing their loved ones has been compounded by the lack of resolution. The case serves as a reminder of the devastating consequences of violent crime and the importance of thorough, impartial investigations in Almonte. The memory of Miguel Ángel and Maria lives on through the efforts of their loved ones, who continue to seek justice and answers. The tragedy has left an indelible mark on the town, serving as both a cautionary tale and a call to action for improving the criminal justice system.